our becoming of our best self, and, staying true to ourselves. So that's the whole philosophical aspect of it. And just that section of the book and that pillar is just having people helping them to rethink about their connection with beauty and how they can go a little deeper with it and add some, like, a philosophical aspect to it. And then rituals is all about kind of punctuating your day, your week, your month, your year, your seasons with rituals. And it's kind of bringing that meditative aspect. If you're a meditator, whoever's listening, you can understand, like, that feeling you have when you're meditating, after you're meditating, and kind of bringing that feeling, that sensibility into your life and the things that you do throughout life. So just, I think rituals is that whole section is just a lot of information about a lot of different rituals that you can incorporate into your life, how the cumulative effects of what those rituals are, identifying some rituals you may already be doing. So that's the ritual sections. And then recipes is, just thinking about what are you eating? What are you, is that, feeling good? Is that supporting your health and wellness needs? And recipes can be, I even looked at, like, breathing techniques and the recipes around the breath work, and just rethinking what recipes means, and not just having it, it isn't just about food recipes, but other aspects of how to bring that metaphor into your life, the recipes that you're kind of creating for yourself on a daily basis. And then the mapping part was, thank you. And the mapping part is just helping people to kind of map it all out and, weave in. And my suggestion is to do it seasonally, because we change just like the seasons change. And, and the seasons change and have an impact on our health and overall well-being. And so the mapping part is just helping people to orient themselves to a seasonal approach to skincare, and then how to map that all out. Just giving people a way to create their own roadmap around that.
Yeah. And it's we talk about self-care regimes, right? We talk about having self-care regimes. Some of us forget because we're busy and we need to slow down, slow beauty. Why are they so important for our well-being?
Well, I think they're so important. They're even more important now than ever because of technology, because of this world that we live in, where we're so connected to our devices that we almost forget that we have a body.
Right.
And
we do.
So I think the self-care, if we're doing things that are high touch and tactile, it reminds us that we have a body to take care of. And sometimes we have a lot of stress or anxiety. We do, the numbers are off the charts in terms of the number of people who are suffering from depression and anxiety. I mean, even, my kids' generation, I just read, is, was dubbed the most anxious generation ever. So we need these self-care practices more now than ever to just kind of help us kind of reconnect to our bodies and just kind of take care of of our central nervous system, to make sure that we're not in fight or flight, that we're, doing things that are reducing stress, that are taking care of ourselves. My whole thing is, if we take care of ourselves in deep and meaningful ways, we're best to take care of others and enjoy life, and have like a joyful experience of life versus a stressful experience. So for me, I have to remind ourselves of how to do this. Like, I have these, I always recommend to people, if you take anything away from Slow Beauty, is to identify 3 self-care values that are personal and meaningful to you. And that those are kind of non-negotiables and things that you practice on a daily basis. And you can always build on that from there. For me, those are the daily self-massage, daily immersions in nature. I walk every single day for an hour at least in nature. And then, I do other things with that, like, dry brushing I do daily as well. It's very invigorating and energizing, and meditation is also a non-negotiable for me.
So how has your own health and spiritual well-being been affected by following this holistic lifestyle and, of course, regularly practicing transcendental meditation? Can you go a little deeper into that?
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's a great question. And I think that the test of if all of this is, kind of, I guess, working. I mean, COVID, this whole, I'll use COVID as an example where, we, have, I'm in LA, which has been, we're like the epicenter right now of the pandemic, but the quarantine, I think all of these self-care practices, all these years of being on this path, and really have, I have like this incredible toolbox of practices and, concepts that I really tapped into during this time. And it really, it was incredibly helpful. And it's just been, that to me, shows me how powerful these tools and resources of SlowBeauty and the whole philosophy can be when you're faced with stress and uncertainty and, even the discord and, kind of the, civil unrest and, as stressful as it is for each of us, like, I think when you have these tools and resources at your disposal, because you've cultivated them over the years and over time, it kind of helps you stay more balanced and more present, and still kind of engender these feelings of joy in your life.
Yeah.
So I think that's an example of how it's worked for me over time. I think it's really helped with with my own aging process as well. Just the different phases that I've gone through, and I've, heard other stories about people who've had, really difficult times through, perimenopause and menopause. And that wasn't my experience of it.
Yeah.
Again, it's really important. Go on.
No, I was just agreeing with you. I was absolutely agreeing with you. It's, I think finding this place of balance, especially today, is so important for us, right?
Yeah. Our attention is being vied for, in every way, in every opportunity, and the balance and the boundaries are incredibly important. I think self-care is a key to setting these boundaries. It's, self-care isn't going to save the world. Self-care isn't going to make the issues that we face as a society go away, but it's going to help us kind of deal with them or respond to them in a more thoughtful, reflective, and loving way.
Yeah. I mean, how can we care for ourselves and everything around us, or care for others, and everything around us if we do not care for ourselves first, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Shel, what is the next important project in your future? I have to ask this one.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I that question. I think that's one of the things that came out of this pandemic. And, I've spent a lot of time, there's been a lot of solitude for me in a really amazing way. And so a key thing I've learned is just about surrender. And, I don't know. I decided I don't want to, I used to be, I have had those, obviously, in my life, I've had big goals, and I've, aimed towards them and have achieved a lot. And right now I don't want to, I've kind of learned this to surrender a bit, and I'm doing a lot more research and delving deep into kind of more reflective practices. And I can't say what that new big project is yet, because I think it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
And
you'll know it.
Going to be all of a sudden just in the midst of it and doing it. And
you'll know it when it happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. And I really like, I kind of am into like the mystery of that, and like what's going to kind of naturally, organically bubble up versus me having this like specific big idea and the goals around it. So yeah.
I have to tell you, we have come to the end, and of this podcast anyway. And I have to tell you, thank you so much for being on here. What a great conversation. And thank you so much for being with us. And if you'd like more information about Shel Pink, you can visit SpaRitual.com and SlowBeauty.com. Many thanks again, Shel, for being with us today on Yin Yoga Lifestyle.
Thank you, Colette. It was a true pleasure.
And please don't forget to visit yinyogalifestyle.com and subscribe to our yinyogalifestyle.com newsletter. You can find free yin yoga videos on our site, and you can join live online yin yoga classes, receiving your first class for free, of course. And you can even visit our Yin Yoga Lifestyle store and support the environment with every purchase you make. Giving the gift of wellness to someone special. Consider a Yin Yoga Lifestyle gift certificate. Visit our website, yinyogalifestyle.com, for more information. Thank you again, Shel, for being on the show.
Thank you, Colette. It was really fun.
And thank you for joining us at Yin Yoga Lifestyle, adding enlightenment, calm, balance, and creativity to your everyday life. I am your host, Colette Darville. Join us next time to continue our journey of balancing into a state of perfect harmony. Until then, this is Colette Darville, reminding you to inhale, sow, and exhale, hum.